I love this topic today because this topic is right at the core, the essence of love. When we interviewed America's greatest marriages and traveled 12,000 miles around the country asking them what makes love last, so many couples that have been married decades would say this: love isn't a feeling, love is a verb, spelled G-I-V-E. It's how we give to one another. And so today I want to share with you 10 ways that you can give to your man that will give him a smile ear to ear and evoke a beautiful emotion of love and appreciation for you. Just so you know, all 10 of these things he could also do for you. This isn't only things that you could do for him. Some of these things are based in research, surveys that men say they love. Some of these ideas strictly come from my own life, where my wife did something that I absolutely loved. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And so I wanted to share those with you. But I wanted to give these 10 ideas to you and let this be like a giving grocery store. And what this means is take the ones that you like and leave the rest. So if you don't like an idea, no big deal, don't use it. But if you do like an idea, discuss it with your man, see if he would like it, and then go ahead and give to him. Because in relationships, most of us have heard of the golden rule, which is do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Well, in relationships, there's a better rule. It's called the platinum rule. And it means do unto them how they want done unto them. Because we don't always like the same things. So discuss some of these ideas with your man, and if he would love it, then put it as a priority to give to your man in these ways. So let's dive in. Idea number 1 that men said they loved is come up behind him and give him a shoulder massage and lean down and whisper in his ear, I love you. What I like about this one personally is how versatile it is, right? Massages are great giving, whether it's a back massage or a foot rub, right? And of course, he can be doing this for you. But the shoulder massage, you can do like at breakfast before you guys are going to leave. Just go over in 30 seconds, shoulder rub, like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Or when he comes home from work, you give him a little shoulder massage. It doesn't have to be the full on, like, okay, take the shoes off and get the massage cream and all of that. This is a great little give that can just pour love right into him. The second idea is give him dopamine time. If you've got a healthy masculine man, there's something that he needs that he may consciously know this, but more often than not, men unconsciously just feel discontent when they're not getting this. And it's called dopamine time. And it's where he's doing something to fire up the dopamine in his system. Dopamine gets triggered when you're doing something competitive, when you're doing something productive, or when you're doing something risky, right? Just going for a drive actually stimulates our dopamine because it's slightly risky. Or if he's going to go play a sport with his friends, he's going to go snowboarding or surfing or go play poker, something that stimulates his dopamine time. I learned from John Gray many years ago that oxytocin naturally suppresses dopamine. Now, I don't know if there's scientific research behind that, because I had a conversation with him and I said, where does this come from? And he goes, I've seen it. I've seen it over decades. I've seen it with tens of thousands of men. And as I began to pay attention in my own life, when I'm around a lot of oxytocin and I'm having a lot of bonding time, there's this like fire that starts to build in me. If I'm aware of it, this like, I need to go and do something. I think it's the hunter in me that needs to go and do something to get that dopamine up. And my wife knows about this. She'll see me kind of restless and kind of maybe not as happy or fulfilled. And if I'm not aware of it, she'll say, honey, I think you need some dopamine time. Like, go call up your boys, go surfing, go do something like that. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. I do need that. And I always feel 100 times better and ready to give when I come back. So if you notice your man kind of in that state, suggest he have some dopamine time. Tell him to go hang out with his buddies. Tell him to go do something fun, and he will love you for it. The third idea is to create an I love you blackboard. And what this is a blackboard that you have, maybe it's by the fridge or somewhere where you're going to see it every day. And it's reasons I love you. And you go on and you just write down something that you love about him. Maybe the way that he shows up, one of his character traits, something that he did for you. But what this is these are words of affirmation. If your guy, one of his highest love languages is words of affirmation, but it's not for you, it's really easy to forget and not actually pour into him with words. And if his tank is low on that one, it means a huge deal to him. It makes a huge difference when you actually give him praise. You actually acknowledge him. And so this is a great reminder, just boom, words of affirmation. And you'll notice that you start to do this, it says, reasons I love you. You put one up there, chances are he's going to follow and he's going to write one for you. It's a great way where you guys can both pour into each other. The fourth idea is to tell him you love his body. Now, this one's interesting. Some guys are going to respond more to this than others, but a lot of guys, they get praised for how much they produce or how much they can fix. They're not really told that their bodies are sexy very often, and your guy might want to hear that. So I'll give you kind of a funny example of this. So it was a couple years ago after the holidays. I had put on like 15 pounds, really enjoying myself over the holidays. And I was describing that to my wife. I was like, I'm not feeling at my best. Well, the next morning, we're cooking breakfast. She comes down and she hugs me, wraps her arms around me and kind of feels me. And she goes, you know what, honey? I actually like you a little thicker. Like I'm attracted to you. And she gives me a kiss. And my daughter, who's 6 years old, sees this and runs around the island and comes up to me. She puts her hand on my belly and she shakes it back and forth. And she goes, Dad, it's okay. I'm still attracting to you too. I hugged her and I said, thank you, honey. Well, 6 months go by and I'm working out and eating healthy and whatnot. And so I had to release that weight. And my wife and I are in the bedroom and she hugs me one night and kind of feels my body. And I'm more firm now, more in shape. And she's like, ooh, honey, you are sexy. And I said, wait a minute. I thought you liked me a little heavier, like me a little bit thicker. And she was like, I like you both ways. And I was like, good answer. Good answer. Your man might want to know that you find his body sexy, that you're attracted to him. So find ways to show him that. Speak those words. Give him a hug. Initiate in those ways. It can go a long way. The fifth idea, and I love this one, and this is called appreciation practice at night. And here's what you do. When you're laying in bed, you each actually take time to say what you appreciate or admire about that person that particular day. It's going to take one of you to get this thing going. So my encouragement is you be the one to ignite this fire of appreciation and just say, hey, I would love to just share with you what I saw in you today, things that I appreciate. I really appreciate that you did this. I really appreciate the way that you've got patience in this area. I really appreciate how ambitious you are. I appreciate and just appreciate your man. If he's not used to receiving that kind of appreciation, you're going to blow his mind. One of our clients, we had this 5-day breakthrough experience, and she came up to me and she wanted to know ways to reconnect with her husband. The two of them have kind of felt distant over this last year. I asked them what had been going on for them, and he had lost his job. And so he was really trying to build this business. But she had seen that he's not really following through, and ultimately she had lost some respect for him. And I said, let me ask you this. And her big complaint was he doesn't open up to me. He doesn't share with me. He doesn't really communicate what's going on. And I said, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really celebrated him, really appreciated him, verbally acknowledged him? And she was like, oh God, it's been like months and months. And I said, well, try this tonight. Before you go to bed, do the appreciation practice. And she said, oh man, that's going to be a little bit awkward, but I'll do it. I'll do it. She came back the next day and she was like, Matt, I have to tell you how great this worked. And I said, tell me more. And she said, so we're getting ready for bed. And I say, hey, honey, can I just share with you some of the things that I appreciate about you? And he paused and he was like, okay, thinking that this was a joke or that I was going to criticize him. And he was like, and I genuinely shared my appreciation for the man that he is, for the qualities that he has and my belief in him. And she said, you could see him just open up as he started sharing about his dreams and his ideas and what he wanted. And she was, I felt closer to him than we have in an entire year. She goes, that was amazing. We are absolutely going to continue with this practice. Now, I know that in relationships, we want this to go both ways. You want to be appreciated as well. But the way that you receive, you evoke the law of receiving by giving. So if you're willing to pour into him, and sometimes it's like you got to be the one that pours in for not just one night, but does it for a series of time. You pour into this person, they will eventually get their tank full and they're going to start pouring back into you. So I challenge you, put this one on, do the appreciation practice and see what happens. All right, the sixth idea here in this giving grocery store is to buy some sexy underwear and then let him see you put them on before you go out to dinner and kind of signal to him like that you're feeling it tonight. So in other words, you're initiating, you're signaling to him like, hey, let's get it on tonight. Oh my gosh. For a guy who normally initiates, now you might be the one who always initiates, and this one you're like, nah, I always do that anyway. But if you don't always initiate, if he does more of the initiating, this is going to be a great give for him. And the two of you are going out to dinner, just don't be surprised if he asks for the check after appetizers. Because he wants to get home. So what a great give this is, because his love language might be physical touch, and this is the thing that really demonstrates to him that you love him. Idea number 7 is to arrange a surprise meal for him. And here's one easy way to do this is send him a text or a phone call before lunch that says, hey, there's a surprise meal, your favorite meal, on its way to you right now. Maybe you send Uber Eats or something like that. He is going to love this. Why? This is under the category of giving gifts. Some people's love language is where they receive a gift for you, and a meal is a great gift. Perhaps if he's the one who's normally cooking meals, let it be you that wakes up on Saturday and prepares breakfast as a gift for him. Surprise meals, great gifts. Give number 8 is to help him do a task that he's been putting off. So maybe he's been stressed about something and he's got a lot on his plate. He's feeling overwhelmed, and there's something that's been hanging out there that's a task that he needs to do, but he hasn't had enough time. Well, one of the love languages is acts of service. And so you can say, hey, maybe I can take that on. And he'd be like, oh my gosh, would you be willing to? That would be amazing. I talked to one of my buddies who's been married over a decade, and he was saying that he was like, his love language is just help me. Like, do something for me. He's like, I am so overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Any kind of help is a huge help. My wife, the other week, we bought this rental house, and there's all this stuff to do with this rental house, and we needed new locks to be put on the house because we just closed. And that was one of my jobs, and I've got all this stuff going on. And the next day I came down and I'm like, hey, I'm going to call the locksmith. She was like, hey, honey, I took care of it. I called them yesterday, and I'm actually going to meet them today. And I was like, no way. She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much. What a great act of service. What a great way to give to your man. Number 9 is give him a for no reason kiss. This falls under the physical touch gifts. If you're in a relationship, chances are you kiss in routine. You leave for work, you kiss. Go to bed at night, you kiss. And unless you guys are getting it on or physical, there's not a lot of other kissing that's going on. It's really normal for couples. So a way to create a pattern interrupt is to give him a kiss for no reason. Let him know that you love him. Let him know that you're into him. Maybe the two of you come to a stoplight and you lean over and you grab him and you give him a sweet, soft kiss. Or maybe he's in the middle of doing a chore and you pause him and you turn around and give him a kiss, giving him that physical affection. Now, you want to know your audience. He may enjoy this, or he may be the guy who doesn't enjoy this. But if he enjoys it, make it covert, make it fun, and he's going to really appreciate that way of giving. And the 10th idea is you do the planning. You plan the date, or you plan the vacation, or you make some of those decisions. Now, you might be the person who's doing that anyways, and so this wouldn't be a great way for you to give because it's not anything out of the ordinary. He should be giving to you in this way. But if your guy is making a ton of decisions, if your guy normally plans the dates or plans vacations or decides on where to go to dinner, this is a great way for you to actually give for him. There is such a thing called decision fatigue, where they actually have done studies and measured that if you're in jail, your likelihood of gaining parole doubles if you're able to see the judge in the morning versus the afternoon. And what they discovered is judges making decisions, they get decision fatigue. By the time it comes to the afternoon, their brain is literally tired of making decisions. And so the easy answer is just no parole, right? I know it's not fair, but it's human condition. And so if he's been making decisions all week with his business, with his work, maybe he's a leader, maybe he's an executive, maybe he runs his own business, the last thing he wants to do is make another decision. Where are we going to dinner? What's the date going to be? So a way to form love is like, hey, honey, I found this really great place for dinner. Would you take me there? And he'd be like, yes, awesome. I love that. Let's just go. Now, I know some of you are thinking right now, well, I don't want to be in the masculine, and leading and planning dates put me in the masculine. I want to be in the feminine. And yeah, a little bit it puts you in the that is masculine energy to plan the date, but this isn't black or white. You can very easily transition back into the feminine on the date and create a great magnetic bond with him. So These are 10 great ideas. I know he could be giving you every one of these ideas as well. My question to you is, what are the ways in which you have found giving to your partner really creates an emotional impact? Like it just lights them up. Go ahead and post that in the comment section below. I appreciate you. I challenge you to take a couple of these on and see what happens in your relationship and let it just get better and better and better and better by the way in which you expand through giving. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.